Hey, we're live. Hi. I just wanted to let you know we're live. I should have told you. Yeah. The cockpit doors have been closed. We are flying. Everything you say and do will be held against you because your body likes to be held. You like to have things held against you. We live in a world that says, oh, you don't want things held against you. You don't want to be living in a place. I think I'm probably muted. Hang on a second. I bet you that's probably
here.
Yeah, but see, good. There are many.
Sounds perfect.
But there are many people here, and I think I'm asking online. I think that possibly you guys in Zoom can hear me, but maybe we were muted. Wait. Yeah, I think it has to be.
We're just building suspense for the audience out there. So
anyway, welcome everybody. Let's pretend like it's working. Worst case, it's going to be echoey. But actually, I think it's good.
Do that.
Now I hear all of you. That's what. Okay, yeah. I think we're good.
Let's pretend like.
Okay, someone's got me on. Okay, great.
I got you. I went out and came back and we're good. It's live. Both places. We are flying.
Right on. Hopefully
Hello,
there's not an echo. There could be an echo, but people will let me know for sure. Welcome to the show, everyone. Sorry for the hiccup there at the beginning. I've forgotten how to do this. I go out of town, and then I come back, and I forget how life works. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Oh, wait, this is a house. Wait, how do I turn the lights on? What's going on? How old is this?
What's my name?
Yeah, it's a lot of that.
Say my name. Say my name.
I was shopping for a mouse habitat today. It's time to rein in the wildlings that I have. For those of you who don't know, I have had mice in my house, and because I live alone, I kind of dig it. Mouse and the motorcycle. I'm kind of enjoying them. They've been wandering freely about the cabin, and it's time for that to stop. There's a lot of mess. There's a lot of hidden peanuts shells that I find in the odd places. Like, why are you eating the peanut here? I left it by the fireplace. You're supposed to take it back behind the fireplace because I can't reach that place anyway. And honestly, if there's a bunch of peanut shells, it's just going to give me insulation. So that's fine, you know. So I bought a gerbil habitat. I went to a fancy pet store in Atlanta, and everything there is like 4 times as expensive as it should be. I think because there's like a pet thing around it. There's like a vibe, you know. It's like, look, this isn't a piece of plastic. This is a piece of plastic you can keep animals in. And then I'm like, oh, well, of course, I'm going to have to pay like 4 times more. But anyway, I went to Walmart. I got a hamster. I'm not going to tell the crap. They probably just heard this. Damn it. I wasn't going to tell them it was a gerbil habitat. I wanted them to think it was I don't want them to have an identity crisis. I don't want them to think that I'm expecting them to be like Uber mice, and be like gerbils, So this is a weird introduction. I'm so sorry. Welcome to the show, everyone. Hello.
Gerbils.
Hello.
Gerbils on Turtle Island. Gerbils and mice.
Valentine's Day.
Gerbil Island. Katoom is joining us this evening.
Katoom.
Welcome,
a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I'm trying to deal with it.
Yeah, a lot of retinal pressure.
Rare.
Are your eyes?
Yeah, he doesn't have a suit and a tie on, James.
Oh my! Well, did you search him?
Psychically, yes.
Yeah. You have to have weapons to come in here. So,
Absolutely.
I am armed with a tongue. That's my weapon. I say stupid shit.
Is it double-edged?
It is a calligraphy that can only be described. See, that's the joke. It can only be described, like literally, it can only be described, period, because it's about talking. It's our tail, Your tongue is your tail.
It's kissing day, though, James.
That's right. It is the beautiful day of the heart. Heart Day today, and
yeah, I'm watching the thumbnail Heart on Fire. It's very dazzling to my eyes. I can get lost in it. And you posted something today.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you cued that, because I posted today that, guys, your heart bleeds for you.
Does.
It has its own neurons. It has its own consciousness. It, like I say, you're a reef, a walking reef of bone, and you have all these organs that are hanging out, just like fish and eel and crab and lobster and clownfish and not so clownfish and serious fish and sharks and lionfish and some of the worst critters in the world and some of the best. Poisonous floating mushrooms, jellyfish, stingrays, manta rays, dolphins, and the larger you're huge. You are so freaking huge that you need a map as big as the earth to see your own body, like to truly see your own body in all its highest resolution. You would need to have created a map that you can navigate around from another body that is your body, because if not, you're irresponsible. You're going to lose the map. If we don't put this map on your body, you're going to lose it. So we're just going to make the map your body. That way you're not going to lose it, okay? And worst thing's going to happen is you might forget. In fact, I think it'd be cool if you forgot. It'd be fun. Let's put on a blindfold, and I want you to run through this water slide. We'll just call it the birth canal, but I want you to run as fast as you can. This is a slip and slide, and I want you to just do heart first. Just shoot yourself into this time snake and be digested by this thing. Anyway, I was saying that the heart bleeds for you in the sense that the Aztecs would maybe even see it this way. That's its own creature that's been kind of hanging out inside this mecha suit, hiding underneath the ribs. And so the new fire ceremony, you'd be pulling open their chest and pulling out this tiny creature. And this tiny creature, when you pull it out, it's alive, but it has a very short life. It has a very short life, and there's only so long that you can behold it. And that's why you have to do it on top of a pyramid with everybody watching, because this is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. And when you look at yourself as a reef, and the heart is this living organism that's chosen your body, chosen the sanctity of your reef to say, I'm going to live here, you start to realize that this is the human sacrifice. This is the thing. This thing has sacrificed itself so you can live. It's been crucified between these ribs, the rib cage. It's been stretched in 4 ventricles, I think. 4 different aortic valve.
2 ventricles, 2 atrium.
Thank you. So you've got four directions, right? 4 directions. You're squeezed in this magnetic flow of fresh water and salt water, and the foam in between those 2 things is Aphrodite, this heart of gold. So yeah, Valentine's Day, I told my heart I loved it today. I don't know if I've ever done that, like, consciously. I send my love to many people today. And in the middle of those sendings, I was like, whoa. Let's think about this. Why have I don't think I've ever told my heart I loved it. I don't think he's ever heard that. And I thought about it like a secret. I actually held it as a secret because I didn't want to say it out loud yet. I was hoping that the heart could not hear me thinking, because wouldn't this be how it works on the reef? If you were a reef and you had fish living in it, you, the reef, would be able to think things that the fish would not hear you think. So I told myself, yeah, the heart can't actually hear what I'm saying right now. It could feel what I'm feeling. It knows I'm thinking about it. But I'm about to blow it away. I'm going to give it some... I'm going to ask it to be my Valentine's when we do.
Oh, cutie.
You know?
You cutie. And James, real love has legs. And I think that little meme had legs.
Yeah.
I think it did too. Can I say,
critter?
Just
it's a
this
downright
week,
critter. Go ahead, Brad.
just this week. Man, it's amazing. Like, just this week, one of my best friends, it's been one of my best friends for years, but we've never said that to each other. And we played tennis together. That's how we met and all that. But we've also like we've known each other for 15 years, and we've shared our lives. Like for 15 years, I've watched him have kids. He's seen all the things I've gone through, right? But it was so crazy because it was this it came up, and the way it came up, it was like neither one of us had voiced to each other that when we talk about each other to other people, we refer to him like he didn't know. I call him one of my best friends whenever I talk about him,
Right.
but he had no idea. And he was like thinking that he felt that way about me and had no idea I felt that way about him. And we teased, of course. I said, because it's gay, you can't tell the brother you love him, you know. But isn't that so beautiful? The fact that it's like that was always there, but we just hadn't voiced it. And it was, I mean, yeah, obviously it meant a lot to me.
Oh, that is just really wonderful to be able to absorb that. You know, it's just, you know, I've always hoped that that could happen for more of that, the masculine field, you know, because it does seem like it's so hard to get there. And
I know. And look at what's happening though, you know, it makes me think about, because I remember fourth grade. This time of year, I'd be carrying these tiny envelopes that we got at the drugstore, and these tiny envelopes had tiny cards inside. And I got to admit, me personally, looking at the card, and I just kind of saw it all as paperwork, but I really loved. I definitely loved the entire. Hey, I'm going to give you this, you know.
James, did you give one to everyone, or did you pick certain people?
Well, this is exactly what I was leading up to. I remember giving it to everyone, and that was okay. That you, and that there was a constant feeling of I think it gave me an opportunity to learn at a young age how naive I was, thinking that my love was endless too. So it's like there's a lot of good lessons that you're getting right out of the gate, but there was a permission to do that. And hearing what you're saying, Brad, it's tripping me out because I'm thinking about, man, I should have given those to some guys too. I should have been like, man, Billy, playing in your fucking house is so rad. It is fucking rad, dude. The way we've got the army men set up now, the way that we've got the catapult tennis ball that we had to build that's across the room, and that the ping pong balls are like our standard artillery, because honestly, the tennis ball's the nuke, right? And you don't want to pull that out. You just want that mutual destruction, but you just want to throw ping pong balls at each other. And that I fucking love you, man, because this is so fun. And I don't recall doing that, but also I don't recall there being this huge paranoia at anything weird, like non-hetero or whatever. So, but
that didn't come till puberty, does it?
Yeah, it will even, and things are.
I don't think they talked about it as much back.
Exactly, that's kind of what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. It wasn't even a thing. And so the stigmata wasn't really working. It wasn't, your hand wasn't bleeding from that. It was just, it's like I really miss the word queer, because it's like I love finding weird shit and going, hey, this is weird looking, and I'm like, man, this is queer. That's cool as fuck, right? Like this doohickey is queer to me. Look at this, isn't the and yeah, that's I enjoy that word from that perspective. But then Bravo TV came online, and just all this. Yeah.
That's what's so beautiful about what you've been talking about. And I caught Friday's stream late, but I loved that when you were talking about reclaiming definitions. And like, I think there's so much power in that, man.
Yeah.
So much power in that.
Yeah, like
because
Valentine's, like Valentine. And you know what? If you think about it, the emoticon is kind of a Valentine. The emoticons that we give each other now, right? You get more than one. Yeah. And we do. You know what? Look at us. I'm proud of us. We've commodified Valentine. Yeah. So good us. It took me this long to figure that out. Everyone else is like, yeah, we've been doing that a long time. Like heart. Squeeze heart with yellow face. You're like, oh my God, I gotta squeeze heart with yellow face. And James is dropping, is he mad? Is he upset? No, I'm surprised. The largest emotion in the world. It's bigger than them all. This is the best emoticon ever. And then you got to camp out in different emoticons because you have different modes the way you're feeling, you know? So you're just sort of like, oh, geez, James, why did you just drop a like, you fucker? And I was like, because I don't want to overpray the heart, and it's got to be precious. It's got to be precious. This is what I love about the Valentines, you know? When I was a kid, this is what I loved about that was noticing not just that I got one, but even getting is smart enough to realize, oh, wait, Billy got one too. Hey, Clay, did you get a Valentine from Kim Fields? You did? Let me see it. I'm going to compare the handwriting. I'm doing a handwriting analysis, you know, and I'm like, wait, my heart's smaller. Fuck. Man, chicks don't get me, man.
Yeah, it's like you got the one with the Daffy Duck, and I got the one with the Elmerford. What does it mean?
Foghorn Leghorn.
You got a Tootsie Roll. Yeah. I didn't even get a Tootsie Roll. Oh, man. Or I got 5 Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah. And the whole time, Renee, they were just filling out paperwork.
It's just paperwork.
Yeah, it is a lot of paperwork. It is. That's a lot. It's a lot of licking. That's a lot of sitting at the table licking.
I gave cards to everybody. I just, you know how it was for me? It was like we had these little sugar hearts, and the hearts said something on them. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I was like, dude, I'll give all out. Like I gave Valentine's Day cards to every, but I was like, I'm not giving any of these little hearts to these dudes. You know what I mean? That's what.
Yeah. Yeah. See what I mean?
I was like, that's where I drew the line right there. I was like, dude, I'm only giving the hearts to the girls, you know, little candies.
Yeah.
It's like, be mine. You're like, no, I'm giving that to Sally over there. I don't want
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, the color, the taste, you know, we were just eating street chalk, basically. We were like, hey, I gave you some street chalk in a shape with letters on it that you're going to read. You're going to put it in your mouth, and you're going to think about me. I'm basically psychologically mind controlling you with sugar. I'm creating a neuron net in your brain.
It was like they were giving us Tums candies to try to counteract like the spaghetti sauce and the you know what I mean?
Acid indigestion. That's not love. It's acid indigestion, right?
What's this funny feeling I have?
I think I'm in love, burp. Wait, I'm not. Never mind.
You know, you think about that. It was like a lot of pressure to be like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. You're doing these Valentines. And it's like, I just remember like dreading, like loving it and dreading it. It was like, am I going to get the Valentine that I really have a crush on this person? And then it did, you know, like I just get a generic.
Yeah, the rise of monotheism in Valentine, you know, because that did happen. I remember wait a minute, James, you can't go in there and just like give out 7 Valentines. What are you fucking kidding? I was like, well, no, dude, I can do this. I'm going to drop them in the mailbox. I'm going to put them in each locker. And I'm like, dude, this isn't going to work. I'm like, it'll work. It'll work, man. I'm telling you, it'll work. And sometimes it would work, you know. But honestly, go ahead.
I had a Valentine's dilemma one time. I just moved to our new house in Banks, Oregon, and I was a new girl in 5th grade. And this kid down the hill and his cousin decided to walk up my hill and like come to my house and both give me a heart box of chocolates. And they're standing there and they're looking at me and they're both giving me heart boxes of chocolates. And I'm like, thanks. And then they leave. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, it was my first, you know, so that was a lot of pressure. I did end up going out with one of them for a day. And we held hands and sat next to each other at lunch, but then it was over. Like, I don't know what to do past that. I guess we're breaking up.
Wow. Well, polyamorous Valentine relationship. Look at that. Polyamorous candy.
I love the candy. That was like, I love candy. It's great.
I got stopped as a kindergartner on the bus and got trapped by somebody that gave me this kiss. I exited the bus as fast as I could. I didn't even know what stop I was at.
Oh my goodness.
Said I'm walking from here.
You were, I don't know what. Oh, honey, that must have been something. Wow, what a good one.
Wow.
Yeah, love is a tricky thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is, and you
And then
don't.
everyone eats all their candies and they're all hyped up on sugar and the idea of love. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it's a great way to spend a night with a tummy ache, laying in bed, going, man, Kim Fields gave me this. Oh, this is great. Oh, what a
Where did
festival.
did any of us collectively surely know how Valentine's Day started?
I think Miguel just posted about that today, and it's sort of like one of those things where everybody kind of
It was
wants in.
Victorian.
There's like a lot of different origin stories. One of which
Yeah.
is a
That's what I'm
Gnostic one.
saying.
One of which is
I
a
have
Gnostic one. Yeah.
A Gnostic one. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought it started like the first Hallmark holiday, and it was like Victorian times when they were making.
Hallmark has made this so complicated because Hallmark can get involved and it changes sort of the dynamic of a lot
That's
of
it.
them.
You're just done. You're ruined it
Yeah.
now.
So there's a conscious answer, right? I like this. When I say conscious, I mean like there's the answer that the people are aware of, and then there's the answer that is inside the mythology.
Yeah.
Underneath.
That's what
and those are two different things, right? So like one is the Victorian card stock or whatever, even the history of St. Valentine themselves, right? I think this person was
Saint Valentino. I heard he was Spanish. I heard it had to do with the Catholics not allowing certain people to wed, or like soldiers. They were like, you got an Inquisition here. Like we're taking over Catholics, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, dude, we need you dudes that are going to be in the army for us. You ain't allowed to be in love with nobody. You can get that out of your head right now. And so then there were certain soldiers who were falling in love, you know what I'm saying, with women. And then they were like, there was this priest, like and he was like, I'm going to sneak you away from this whole church and everybody in the middle of the night, and we're going to get you guys wed right here with God. That's what I heard about this. That's why I was like, is this real? Like what?
I don't know.
That's a cool story.
Romantic. It is.
Yeah.
Well, I think about how there's 28 days in the month of February, and 14 is a half of 28.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's something there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, partner. I like it.
Yeah.
That is.
And then I think about the massacre.
Yes. Yes, of course. We can't have a heart holiday. We can't have love without a massacre.
for you, Lori.
Yeah, there was that St. Valentine's Day massacre.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is definitely. I think it does have an esoteric meaning.
Yeah, I think in the soil I think the new fire ceremony is a great example of a Valentine's Day. And that's kind of where I was thinking at today in the idea of the heart as a separate being. And, all of the worlds are the world that is as complex as it is now that we see requires that a heart is sacrificed in order to create it. And that's what got me thinking about, wow, that's what's happening right now. Like this heart, no one else gets to see my heart. No one else gets to see it. The only way you could is if you pulled it out of my chest while it was still beating. It'd be the only time you could see that living entity. Isn't that profound?
I like the placenta in a way.
Yes, exactly.
I feel really blessed because I got to do that. I got to be in the OR when they would crack people's.
You pulled someone's heart out? What?
Like, really? I got to witness maybe 200 at least people's beating hearts.
Oh,
and then I know. It was so.
And then they didn't even have to. You got to witness them not have to die either. A lot of times.
I know. And then they stop it and they run these tubes in, and then it goes to this machine that oxygenates and gives you. Oh, it's just incredible what they can do. And then when it's time and you're all fixed up, they start your heart again. So essentially, you're kind of in between worlds. Weird, huh? And then I was thinking about the layers. There's 7 layers of muscle in the heart. And if you took a heart out of a person's body and you cut it, and it would unwind like a spiral, like a Fibonacci spiral.
It literally looks like a DNA, like a coil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a coil, and it pumps like a vortex. It pumps like two spirals going in opposite directions, like a clockward and an anti-clock at the same time.
I'm just curious if you've been in this long. Like, you know that I mean, I was studying some medical books a few years ago. I'm like, they can actually measure the pulse of the heartbeat in the fetus before the physical heart actually comes together because of the like pulsing of the electrons that are going to be in it, that are the electrical charge that's already pulsing it to begin with.
Nice.
Isn't
So
that
it's like
crazy?
like it already exists in a quantum
It's a
state
yeah.
for it.
And it's the first
it carves
organ that
it. It
forms.
carves
Yeah.
it, Katoom, right? It carves that choroidal vortex, that shape is carved by that electrical signal that creates the heart around it, like a 3D printer, basically.
That's your first
it's
thing
a
that
sine
forms.
wave pulse, and then it starts to material because it's compacting itself so much that it creates a vortex, and then the physical starts to revolve around for sure. You see it.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
That
This
is brilliant.
guy.
That is brilliant, man. Yeah, because it would unwind through time, and just like the way the Nautilus shell is formed,
That's right.
it actually starts
Yeah.
in that kernel, and you can watch it grow, and it builds itself out of that, and that's the electrical urge to pleomorph into a certain way. This is probably an ionic channel thing. Remember, you guys remember the horseradish sauce? The magic of the horseradish sauce?
Well, I love horseradish sauce, but I don't know the
With
magic of it in my
deer.
belly.
Yes, with
the
red
deer-
velvet, which is the
red
deer
velvet.
antler. Yeah, the velvet. I think it's called red velvet, but yeah, the deer antler velvet, the deer velvet. It's probably. I think I'm
horseradish.
getting red velvet cake mixed in.
I think it's
Sorry,
cake, baby.
because it's Valentine's Day. but the red the velvet of
That
the
grows on the
antlers
antlers,
and
yeah.
horseradish sauce, which I'm welcome to people to say it's not horseradish sauce, James. However, there's something about being able to regenerate limbs through the ionic stimulation of, it's basically bioelectricity that is, and the only reason why you need the horseradish sauce, and I swear it's on PubMed. I read horseradish. I made everyone look at it to say, look, I'm not
I think
crazy.
it's just horseradish. I don't think it has to be sauced.
It's not sauce.
I'm pretty sure it said tartar sauce. I think it said tartar sauce.
It says tartar sauce. Tartar sauce.
Because
and-
the cells have to
corn velvet.
think that they're about to be eaten, and if the tartar sauce makes them feel that way, and then it makes them start to say, hey, we should decide, do we want to live or do we want to be eaten? And then they decide to grow. But that's just my own theory. I
makes
gotta admit,
sense.
I haven't had a lot of scientific. I haven't submitted a draft to no journals
to
have published.
Tartar and Science
Yeah.
Journal.
Yeah.
Tartar Science
I've
Journal
never-
paper.
I'm just imagining like eating tartar sauce on anything other than like, fish.
Yeah.
It's so radical.
Yeah. Yeah. Toast, tartar sauce and toast. I think I actually lived on that for a few days. I mean, not
Did
really,
you?
not really by choice, but honestly, I think I was in a van and there was some kind of Captain D's special on tartar sauce where like you got extra. I found a loophole in some sort of law where I ended up with a buttload of tartar sauce. And I realized that honestly, toast, if you're living in a van, toast and tartar sauce, it's honestly, I mean, it's,
That would work. Sure.
you're
Pickles.
probably not gonna have a good
filling.
Valentine's Day if you're gonna serve that
I've
to your
done that,
beloved.
and I'm
but-
like, dude, tartar sauce and crackers, tartar
There you
sauce
go.
and Ritz. Are
Yeah,
you
well, that's
kidding
why I
with
make
me?
toast,
Ritz
yeah.
and tartar sauce.
Yep.
You
Wow.
guys are fucking newbies, man. Tartar
Yeah.
sauce and a spoon. That's all you need.
Yeah, dry tartar sauce. I keep it. Yeah.
Bro, that's how I am with pico de gallo, like salsa. Like I'm just sitting there with a bowl, just eating.
Yeah.
Has anybody put tartar
super-
sauce on a corn dog?
I'm not. Next time I have a corn dog,
James, has it been done, James?
That's gonna happen soon.
I think we need to
You
end the
think I'm
show.
joking?
I think
It's
we
like
need
my
to end the
shepherd's
show.
pie
I'm gonna need to.
nachos.
I need to run to the store. You guys just keep talking. I'll be back.
It's really,
bring it up for the
Bye,
class.
James.
It's really funny because I only eat a corn dog during Mardi Gras, so I think it's the tartar sauce Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna go. Oh, good job. Man, there's a lot going on.
You know
in your
what?
neck of
I
the
can't tell
world
if he's
as far as
joking or
hot
not.
dogs go.
I should probably.
We're not
I should.
joking,
No,
actually.
honestly, yeah. To fix this, I really do want you guys to know that what I did say actually is legit in the sense of, so salamanders have sort of better ability to regenerate than frogs, and frogs have a better ability to regenerate than maybe something that's not a frog. And in humans, we have certain parts of our body that we are able to regenerate. The liver is a famous one. Yeah. But there are actually other parts too. And that some of the new theories working on a decoupled skin cells, these little xenobots or whatever that Levin works with, he's, basically electrically impulsing, causing certain growth. But then there's other PubMed papers where other people have tested this regeneration stuff, and honestly, the electrical stimulation is induced chemically, and that chemical agent that does that has the word horseradish in the ingredients. There's like a bunch of scientific words, and neo-Cthulhuoso, and Cthulhu juice, and Zimbabwe's powdered berry juice and stuff, and then there's horseradish or something. But that when the limb is placed in that solution encourages. It's telling the ion channels that they need to not be so rigid with their memory. It's about how the cell remembers that this is the outer wall. It's sort of like you're telling your tenant, you're telling one of these cells, hey, that you got a backyard, and have you guys not opened this door? And they're like, no, we don't open that door. That's not a door. That's a painting of a door. No, this is a real door. Open it up. You've been living in the mud room the whole time. This house is yours. You're living in the mud room. Look, you have a kitchen, and this horseradish, this
you
giant
think it's because
solution.
It's spicy?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something that it's like Bad Bunny's playing music across the border.
For the year of the horse.
The fire horse does not lie.
Is this a metaphor for the year of the fire horse?
Yeah.
Radish.
Horseradish. It opens the cells.
The year of the fire horseradish. My goodness.
I mean, do you want me to tell you what you're honestly making me think about when you're talking about this is the DNA codons, the opening gate, which is the starting gate, the holding gate, and then the stopping gate. And the combinations of these, and I'm like, once we figure this out, we'll be able to control the different the electrical flows going through the ion channels.
Yes.
That sounds like a steeplechase, doesn't it?
What do you mean, steeplechase?
Well, like a steeplechase is a horse race. It's the fire horse, and it's the opening gate, the starting gate, and the ending gate.
Oh, gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit, this is good.
I think you nailed it, Katum. I think this
Fire horseradish.
This this is a pleomorphic ability to. All our cells are pleomorphic. We know this. They take all kinds of shapes. Some cells are actually so long that they're like one cell can be as long as like 50 other cells, and it's the same thing. It's the exact same organism. It's the exact same makeup. The only thing different is what it believes its shape should be. And so much of what stops our placebo, what stops our ability to grow horns or to remove horns or to grow wings, or my favorite is gills. I'd love some gills somewhere.
Grow our tail.
Freaking great.
Oh, please, I want to breathe.
Yeah.
My best dreams are breathing underwater. That's the best. Yeah,
that'd be freaking dope. And those things are closer than you think. It's gonna be a giant chimera war. Not gonna lie. We're gonna have a giant chimera war. It'll be fun. But right before the chimera war, we're gonna have gills. And it's going to be something that you electrically will be, I think, some of us will be better at pleomorphism than others. And I think that's already happening right now. Your consciousness is technically built from a pleomorphic parabola dish of cells that are hallucinating. You could think about this like a sort of a dish where consciousness is sort of the focus of how all these cells are remembering who they are. And there's some sort of conductor. There's the ability for you to stand as conductor because all cells are sort of focused on your consciousness, and that you would direct this orchestra to say,
Yep.
Hey, you don't have to, have you guys not opened this door? And they're like, we will never open those ion channels. We are afraid of what's outside. It's like, maybe you don't need to be afraid of what's out there. Maybe the backyard is lovely.
Yeah, conducting sticks are great. You get a couple conducting sticks, go outside.
Yeah.
See what happens. I have my funnel tunnels.
Magic wands and conductor sticks are the same.
Funnel tunnels.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I travel with 2 wands, one for each hand.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
2 wands can make a white, right?
You got some extenders. You got some phalange extenders.
Yeah,
there.
Our finger wands are great. Yeah, I love that fingers are fins.
Fin.
Stretch
That's right.
told me
Finger.
that. Yeah. Renee told me that.
Well, have you seen the whales, the fingers and the whales?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, when you look
at the whale fin skeletons, have you seen them?
I mean, go for it.
It's metatarsals.
All the giant, the great whales, the giant whales, like their fins. They look like humans.
Yeah,
they're so
their
close.
metatarsals are the same. Wow. It's the same metatarsals. You guys,
that's crazy.
If you look at an elephant's foot, it is a human foot as if it's inside of high heels. I shit you not.
So off.
I encourage you to look it up right now. You've got to see it. It is amazing. It is a foot. It is a foot inside, a human foot inside of there with toes, with ankles, and the only thing different is that its heel is raised up off the ground. It is amazing. You're like, what the fuck is this? This is not real. This is AI. This is a joke. And no, that's an elephant foot. That is us.
There's so much resonance there. I'm
doing my best to be not unhinged right now.
Because our bones are so magical. And to know that the similar structures within an elephant and a whale just makes you so much closer to them as you move your own body. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we were talking about earlier, like talking to a tree. I'm like, I'm talking to trees over in North Carolina. I'm talking to James's tree while I'm talking to my tree. But if you're talking to your bones, like you talk to your heart, and then you're talking to the bones of a whale or the bones of a, I don't know. That's wonderful. I love that.
Singularities on the horizon.
Fantastic.
I can tell by listening to you guys.
Yeah. We got some good moves in this place. Tell you what.
A lot of good moves.
La-di-da, wow.
Yeah.
Magical place. Beautiful place.
Again, it just helps us further compassionate, right? And that is, I think, the thing that connects us even more with the place. I was True posted something, I think, in the Patreon, and he was talking about it was the bird song thing, but it was something interesting that brought up in me that I remember when I hit that point where I stopped looking at the animals in the yard, right, or wherever I'm at, if any place that I'm at, routinely, right, that I stopped looking at it like these are just random birds or these are just random critters, and realizing no, they live here. And so now I recognize, like, for example, the cardinals that come through. These are the same cardinals that come through day in and day out. And so now when I sort of relate to them energetically, it's not just as random passerbys. It's like, no, they live here with me.
Yeah, those are your homies. Those are your neighbors.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
For sure. I live in Audubon land, like where the migration is. So they're starting, like all of the birds migrate, the south back up to the north. So they're all here right now. It is like a cacophony of bird song.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Oh, you're lucky.
And in the tradition of like Native Americans, I don't know where the legend was, but if the birds stopped singing, the world would stop spinning.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, I went outside and because I heard the geese flying overhead, and I'm sure they were migrating. But the amazing thing for me personally was when I went outside and I heard them and I looked up, there were two swarms, and one of them started circling. They formed a circle for a minute, and it was just wild. And of course, I'm sure they're doing their own thing, but you can't help but sit there and think that it's like, do they recognize that I saw them and they stopped for a minute?
Nice. Yeah. All these creatures have hearts, and all these creatures, that heart
have consciousness.
That's a reef too. A goose is a reef, and living in that reef, there's a heart, and certain creatures, certain creatures on a reef, there can really be only one because they have a kind of territorial sense. I'm just saying it's interesting that you would see 5 lungs. I say 5 because there's 5 lobes of the lung, and that maybe each of those 5 lobes would sort of be its own living conscious creature, but that the heart itself would be that there's typically only one heart.
Like a
on
finger,
each reef.
like each lobe's connected to a finger, almost like it's living.
Yeah, well, if you were to dive at a certain reef, you would find that there's some creature that there's only one here. This is the only one that's allowed to be here, and that tells you something about that creature, doesn't it? It gives you a sense of what it's like. The closest example I can think of is the lonely life of a bird of prey. Anytime you land into a forest, if you want to be a red-tailed hawk, you're never going to hear birds sing. Anytime you come around birds, they're going to get quiet. They're going to be as quiet as they can be. You are a black hole of life, in a sense, of the sound of life is collapsed into your gravity. And
so then you have to have control. That's awesome.
That's like a predator in your reef, right? And that predator you would find beautiful too if you were way into your saltwater aquarium and you wanted this to capture this ecosystem. I'm thinking on the God level, but on your attainable level, that you would do the same thing. You would see this intricate puzzle building on top of itself. And the more successful it became, the more it would create the resonance. Just like the electrical pulse is carving the shape of the heart, the electrical pulse of the reef is carving the shape of the vertebrae, of the living creatures that come to it. It takes a lot of expertise to build just the right reef that offers all the complexities, all the balance, all the symbiosis to accommodate all of these things. And that's where we're at now. We're the same as the goose. We're the same as any other creature with a heart. We're just basically a more complex reef, right? A little bit larger of an ecosystem. We require a lot more to survive. We live a little bit longer, and we're capable of so much more because of the size.
I'm not even that sure if we're even more complex at this point. Like, I've been octopuses, like, what the
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Have you heard about the immortal jellyfish? Those motherfuckers at the bottom of the ocean?
No, I haven't.
Dude, there's these jellyfish. Sorry, James. I'm just like way off course, buddy. I'm just like,
I'm like, I hate that you're apologizing.
I don't know. We build all this stuff, but I'm like, there's these jellyfish chilling at the bottom of the ocean. Some of these they've been monitoring for a while. I'm like, they literally go all the way to full adulthood, reproductive, and then they reverse, and they go all the way back down into a little tiny jellyfish baby thing, and then they bounce back like a spring, and they just keep bouncing back up and doing this over and over.
Nice.
Wow.
And they're like, I mean, they call them immortal jellyfish because they probably haven't been able to be down there that long enough to figure out how many times they actually do this. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy.
How are they
just add
doing it?
a little offside? I love the metaphor of the reef because I love the idea that when we talk about reefs, that a reef is dead if there's nothing living in it, right? It's considered dead. Like a reef, for it to be alive, it has to have life in it.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's where it gets all its color. Yeah, it gets all its color.
Well, I mean, aren't there fish and aren't there different life forms hiding around inside these little caves that the reef builds? Still?
Yeah.
Well,
And
the entire reef
fascinating-
is actually alive, like not just the animals that occupy it, but the actual reef, the pores in the reef. Yeah, or coral, that's a living creature. Like it's
totally living. And it's like when it gets bleached, you'll see like the color loses color. But it's like if you just took like a drop of like ocean water and you put it under this microscope, you would see these creatures like the tiniest one cell creatures that are like
everywhere.
Yeah.
Even if you just took a dust mote that's floating around us, it's like we live in it. The tiniest creatures are like magnificent.
Yeah, it's like a hologram in the sense of, but a scaled hologram, meaning that if you scale up or if you zoom in or if you zoom out, the complexity is always there. And it's created instantly by you being there. I'm talking about there in the sense of, I don't think that we understand how profound it is to be able to zoom in or out of things. Like a picture from space is, I mean, forgive me on the space thing because I know it's controversial, but the idea of zooming way, way up in the air and taking a picture from super high up is a kind of, it's a dimensional travel. And we need technology in order to dimensionally travel because we don't trust our imagination enough to do it.
Yeah, our minds are... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's part of the magic too. We just have lost how magic it is because it's just so built in, to
and then
our
imagine
technology.
zooming in and out with not just like visual area, space. Imagine zooming in and out with time. That's the next thing that the mind is going to get to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's kind of the thing that's kind of helped me a lot as far as like making sense of the world and as far as the explicit time or the point that we're in. But like you're saying, Katum, it's like the perspective you get from zooming out gives you so much more information applicable to the moment you're in when you zoom in.
Well, this is
for sure.
This is what I wanted to get to, because this means the reef that we see, our oceans have some pretty amazing reefs. Some of them are hundreds of miles long. And that reef, the only reason why we do not recognize the entity is the exact same reason why if you were living inside of your own body and you were small enough, you were scaled down, you were zoomed down small enough, you would never be able to communicate, see, or more importantly, hallucinate a picture of the creature as a whole. The living being of the entire reef is so large that none of us have recognized it yet. And the only thing stopping us from recognizing it is changing our Z. That if we change our Z...
Z-axis.
It's, X, Y, Z.
The quaternion?
X is on a graph. The X is going to be from left to right. It's a horizontal line. Your Y is going to be a vertical line, but then Z is your depth, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by Z. So the higher the Z would be the further away from you it is in front of you, and the lower the Z would be behind you but further away, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. But that's the Z I'm talking about. Except for that we're in a three-dimensional world already. You just have to think about it like that. We have standardized that axis because we are in I realize it's more than 3 dimensions, but I'm just talking physically for a sec. That in the physical world, where you're in
It's
3
relative.
dimensions, so we turn the 4th dimension, this other dimension I'm talking about, we turn it into depth in our 3-dimensional world. And the only way we can do that is that we have to create a large area where everything has a singular place, and that this place is inside the 3D world, but it's actually a broadcast of this other world, this Z, basically. So you're looking at a hologram that's constantly building itself based on where your location is inside of it. And that's what looks like 300 miles away. It's not actually 300 miles away. We are rendering it and hallucinating it into our landscape as being 300 miles away. It's really
based
the same.
on where you want to orient based on how much you want to orientate your consciousness.
It's akin to scrolling your mouse 300 clicks down and 45 clicks to the left, and then looking at the same page. You actually haven't moved, but you have scrolled to a different location. But that scroll is depth. It's not XY, it's depth. And that depth means that if you were to look at a reef off the eastern coast of Australia, that's like 400 miles, probably like 1,500 miles, probably like long. If you would be able to talk and see a living creature that embodied all of the organelles of what was currently living in that reef, all the sharks, all the fish, all the eels, but that creature would take a different shape because you were on a different Z. The same way, if you take a drop of ocean water and put it under a microscope, you're going to see a bazillion fucking things inside. That is not what a drop of the ocean water looks like. But when you control your Z and you force yourself to only look at it in this level, you now see the entities for who they are. And I'm saying that we haven't learned how to do this in a macroscope yet, right?
That's right.
No.
We need a macroscope stat.
I've had this term.
It's a macroscope. I'm sorry, but this is exactly the word, isn't it? We don't have a macroscope. I know that you can take a telescope and look far away. And that is a kind of macroscope, but I'm talking about a way of actually communicating with the world the same way that you and I cannot get into that drop of water and have a communication with that baby plankton, right, that's floating around. But we could, if we could get that small, we would be able to communicate with it because we could tap it on the shoulder. We could watch it try and eat us. We could try and swim away.
With it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because we are on a different Z, we are in a different dimension. This is why we don't see each other. This is why we can still be here. We can still share the exact same space, but we do not see each other. We never actually touch, even though technically we do, because I can swallow it. Well, guess what? It doesn't change. It's so small that if I swallow it, it doesn't matter. It's hallucinating its own universe. It doesn't fucking need my world. This is so profoundly, I think, a new frontier of us understanding what reality is seeing the Z. And I think that we just haven't gotten there yet because we lack the imagination to understand that it would have to work this way. There'd be no other way.
There's only X, Y, Z. I'm not ready for the next
W. That would be W.
Do you remember what was the name of that movie where the people got injected into the artery or the vein and they traveled around in the body?
That inner space.
Yeah, there's been a couple of them. Yeah. I think Osmosis Jones, I think, is another one that I've been told. I haven't.
It was really badly done. It didn't have good effects. It was, I think, in the 60s. It was that movie.
But the idea was sound.
Well, just the thought of traveling around in your body as a consciousness. You know, like to get your Z on, to practice like a form of Z on. Yeah, you got to get your Z on. You have to go to get small. You have to go in to go small. You have to go in to go there, you know?
Yeah. That's why it's a different dimension. It really is. And we're so powerful that we've we actually have dimensional travel, but we haven't been able to admit it to ourselves yet.
Yeah.
Because we
100%.
don't accept cellular hallucination. I'm talking about, collectively. We don't know that we're cellularly hallucinating what we see. And if we could get to that point, I think we would unlock the Z. I think you'd unlock the Z instantly, because you'd be able to, you'd change your antenna size, your ability to compassionate with something. Even though you're tiny, you would be able to broadcast a communication antenna that started at the top of the reef and went to the bottom of the reef and said, "What's your name?" "My name's Reef." "Oh, Reef Reeves. I love that name. Tell me about
Valentine
yourself."
for you.
Reef Reeves.
Yeah, and all you would have to do is the same way you communicate with a stray cat, the same way you communicate with a bird. You're trying to gain trust with this raccoon who's right now chilling on some cat food right now outside. I'm looking at him, and he's terrified of me, but I recognize his shape, and I constantly include his entire shape, and that's how I even know he's alive, isn't it? I don't even know he's alive if I was only looking through a pinhole this whole time, because I would never be able to fit that raccoon in a pinhole. He'd have to be 3 miles away before.
You're looking at a piece of hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking about taking my finger and sticking it down into the dirt and connecting with the mycelium as my little cell of the tip of my finger, connecting and getting that small and that connected, because in that smallness of the microorganisms in the dirt, it's like a massive communication system.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that's why when I used to have a garden and I would plow it up, I would walk barefoot through the plowed dirt, and it felt so good. But I would just walk all through it, and
and the smell of it, right? The smell of it.
What are the limitations on what we're allowed to talk about here? Like, I've worked with mimosa before, and like Mimosa hostilis, you can actually, the aperture of your consciousness, this is one of the first things that made me start resonating with James back in 2020. I was like, because he was talking about the aperture of your consciousness, and I was like, you actually have a third eye, and it actually has an aperture.
Totally.
And it actually quite literally can focus all the way down into a cell. And you can actually, I'm being quite literal right now when I'm sharing this. I'm like, you can actually go all the way down into your, the dopest microscopic shit ever, without even having to break the cell open to watch it function. You know what I mean? It's we have that ability. That's coming online probably. I'm just assuming if I've experienced it, there's a morphogenetic resonance network here, so it's coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The mimosa, like the one that you touch and then the leaves kind of go together, that tree?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different genius of those. And one of them, I'm talking about the one that they make ayahuasca with.
Oh, okay. Right.
One of them, right? But you can, imbibe that in different ways. But, dude, I remember several months ago you guys were talking about DMT, and I was like, oh, man. When do I get a chance to share this? I don't know if this is the time or place, but you know what I mean.
It's the time and the place. Go for it.
Okay, once upon a time in 2014, me and my buddy were doing a lot of work with this mimosa and acacia, because I'm already native to the Arizona area, and I've worked with Bufo alvarius for a couple of decades, but we were working with it one night, and he was like, I'm good. And I was like, nah, I got to go back in for some reason. I didn't know why. When I went back in, what happened? I'm going to try to break this down as fast as I can to you. I'm traveling through this realm, whatever you guys want to call it, the Akashic field or whatever, the ether, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, and I come across a group of individuals, and I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, where do you think here is? And I was like, I realized I had entered, I entered somebody else's space at that, because I'm a pretty free-flowing motherfucker, and I'm like, I just go through when I go through. I don't need any leaders or teachers or guides or any of that. So I'm just doing my thing, and I run into this group of people, and they're literally people. And this is in Arizona at nighttime here, And these dudes are literally, and these are real people, 9 of them. They're Chinese. They're in China. They're Asian. All right. And these are monks, and this is real time. And I'm like, what, how am I? And I was like, pardon me. And I was like, how did you guys get here? Like, do you have some type of tea? Do you have, so like, I had no idea. I was like, how are you here in this space with me? And they were like, we're all brought to this monastery when we were children, and we were taught these mantras. And they were literally, these dudes were so skilled and so advanced. And I'm telling you, this is why I stopped like even using DMT, because they were like, look, we learned these mantras. They were able to actually, oh, like the one main guy that was talking to, yeah, I'm like, there were 9 of them, and they were sitting in an daytime open thatched roof in a circle, like a pagoda. It had posts around it. It was, and I'm like, these dudes have the ability to actually open their eyes, let me go into their body, look at each other, and they could trade back and forth, and they could send me back and forth through their bodies and look at each other. So I had an idea. These dudes were all like from the age of like 40 to 75 or so. And they were like, this is what we're doing when we're chanting. They're like, we have the ability to create enough vibration to keep our crown chakras open. And when each other person falls out of it, the vibration of the sound is going around the room here. And I was like, I'm done. I was like, these dudes got this shit mastered to this degree. And so when I come out of it, my homeboy, I'm gonna let him be unnamed right now. I mean, it's Colin. He's my homie. He was like, dude, he was like, who are you talking to right now? And I was like, bro, I'm not even doing this anymore. I'm like, these dudes got this mastered. They don't even need a substance. They've mastered it. I was like, I'm done. So I'm just like, so nowadays I'm just like, I only bring people in when someone comes to me and they're like, hey, you want to go in? I'm like, I don't even do that anymore. Like, I wanted to add in on your guys' little DMT conversation from several months back, and I'm just like, dude, it's just a stepping stone. Every single thing is a stepping stone. I think it's all placebo stepping stones to the point to where you're literally just in presence with your own soul and the actual eternity and infinite creations that go on with inside of your own soul. You know what I mean? Like we already have everything. Like for real, that's what it is. That's what's happening.
Well, I think you kind of take on, whether it be with mushroom or toad or variety of medicines, you kind of take on the essence of that being and their window into what they see. So that's kind of what I associated with when I took that medicine. It was very humbling, and I really I felt the amphibianness of it, I suppose, is what I'd say.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
dude,
you're
it's
kind of
really
in a different place because you're taking that spirit within you.
But that's the interesting thing I've always read about it, is the fact that it doesn't take, like in all these practices, and when they talk about mushrooms and ayahuasca and all this stuff, that it will kind of force your consciousness there. But echo what you're saying, Katoon, that these are not states that we need substances to tap into, that you absolutely can tap into them, but the substances kind of force that issue.
But we're so conditioned by our type of society that it makes it very difficult for you to organically tap into it on your own willpower. So these stepping stones, that's the other thing these Buddhists were telling me. They're like, nah, these type of stepping stones are necessary for people in your society, because they were like, dude, if you want to try to start from where we start from, you're going to have to start with 20 to 30 years of deprogramming yourself, and then start with another 30 years. You're going to be dead before you even get there. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But with in regards to the amphibians, like that time dilation, that sense of timelessness that we experience from these dudes go underground and bury themselves in the mud, and they have one heartbeat per week. So obviously that's in them, and they're doing that, and they've slowed their sense of time then that's going to be an obvious effect that we're going to get from them. And I don't know if you guys have ever even researched any of this, but the 5-MeO DMT specifically that comes from the Bufo alvarius toad, like when you go to NCBI or like PubMed and you look at like trials with mice and stuff like that, I'm all, increase of neuroplasticity, increase of neuro longevity, increase of neuro regeneration. Literally, I'm all there. That's a mouse. That's a mammal. I'm all, no wonder they don't want anybody doing this. I'm all, it literally makes your brain function better. I'm like, it's pretty wild. But it's just interesting topic.
Yeah, Gaia really has a lot of different routes to her, and it's definitely not for everyone to experience. But it's interesting that it's out there, and I know that they're working with people with PTSD and such with this work.
To that point, Renee, I do think you have to be careful with that, because I think a consciousness that's not ready, to your point, exactly, it can cause, I think, all sorts of problems. So it is, I would just say to anyone, use that with care.
It's really interesting, the synchronicities. Somebody came up to me at this brewery I was at and telling me that they wanted to know what my opinion about where to go for ayahuasca or whatever. And it's like, we have a whole bunch of it going on here. And she was going to another state. And I was like, if I had to do it, I would go to where the plant is grown or the toad is, and where the natives, not Americans, but like in the Amazon, in the Peruvian, or you want to go to just go Brazil, anywhere where it's grown, because to get the connection with the creature is hard to keep in a Western mind virus.
I saw that you were just in Sedona earlier last year. Weren't you just in Sedona?
I don't know. I wasn't in Sedona. No.
Oh, I thought
I was down in New Mexico. I was in New Mexico. But if you were going to do peyote, all right, that would be, you go to an indigenous person, get invited, and do what where that plant is from, where Gaia grew it. It's like it's really kind of fatty right now, like just to go and and then it's like the people are doing it, and it's kind of like
in a trendy way.
Yeah, in the trendy way.
That's the danger, I think. It really is the danger, because I think people think of it in terms of a recreational, which is why I think having a shaman or someone who understands what it is probably pretty important, because
for sure.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's just very powerful.
No. I've witnessed exactly what you're talking about before, and I'm going to break it down to you real simple and as fast as I can. My friend had a combination of some medicine, and his buddy was like, hey, it's my birthday. He's like, no, because you guys are going to go out partying and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He's like, no, we're not. He's like, okay, here, have some. Me and him have already worked with it, so I already know. And so they came back and they were like, it didn't even do anything. He's like, yeah. And so then they were like, we're sorry, look, yeah, we were partying, et cetera, et cetera. And then they asked my buddy, look, can we come over to your house? Will you administer it to us? All right. And they had a completely 100% different experience from it. Right. Because and I'm like trying to figure out, is it because he made sure that they were sober, or is it because he already had worked with it? He knew the effect of the possibilities, or and then so that consciousness, it's already transferring through consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Like it really does have to do with shamans, dude, to a point. I wish I could say it didn't, but I'm like, no, that's kind of important factor to it for sure. And so like, yeah, they had a way 100% different experience, just because he had I'm not talking about myself either. This is about somebody else. But yeah, that I watched that. Huh?
Is it Colin? No.
Tom, take it easy there, buddy.
But it's a world that there's a lot of uncertainty too. So it's something that it isn't. There's a lot of things associated with it that could go wrong, as with a lot of these types of things.
I don't think the idea of making everybody just trip or go on that is a good thing. Not at all. It's like I said, it's definitely something that should be done consciously.
Yeah, spiritual work, dude. You're trying to expand your awareness of reality, or whatever, in a deeper sense.
If you get your ears pierced, you actually have neuroplasticity. If you if you
Tell me about that, James. I want to know. That's interesting.
The ear lobe or the eardrum? What are you talking about?
So if you wear earrings, you're going to pierce your ears. You're going to put a hole in your ear to wear an earring, and that when you pierce your ears, you end up with neuroplasticity. And this is just one of many ways that the medicine of what you would find in mushroom, you would also find in piercing. Every 20 days,
you're manipulating the fascia. So your earlobes are like part of your antlers, and you're like stretching it out, right? And then you're putting some metal in it to create a conductor.
Yeah,
is that what you mean?
Well, I think that when you're getting your ears pierced, the act of piercing your ears is creating neuroplasticity. You're expanding limbic consciousness, awareness of your ears. Sure. And but I think that's a ritual that you've done, and then I don't think it's going to always keep making you neuroplastic. It's I think that we have to find a different. We're doing this all the time. Every 20 days, there would be a flint cutting of the tongue, for example. In the Aztec, there's a day for it where it's like, hey, what's today? And you're like, oh, it's the day you stick a flint in your tongue and you bleed. And that every 20 days would definitely cause neuroplasticity. If you were to...
Okay, so do you think they figured out... Sorry, I don't mean that. I'm like, do you think they figured out, like... Once you created a higher state of neuroplasticity, how long it would last before depleted, and then they're like, okay, you got to do another one now?
Well, this is kind of what I'm trying to lay out. It's if you think about that, if you get your ears pierced, you're going to have neuroplasticity. If you stab your tongue every 20 days, you're going to have neuroplasticity. But the more that you're recalling memories that you've already have, you're losing the delectability, the novelty is changed, and you lose something called peculiarity, which is a very vital ingredient to neuroplasticity. Yeah. Peculiarity peculiarity is a form could come in trauma. Any kind of trauma is going to be peculiar because the definition of trauma would by definition be something that you're not normally exposed to. Otherwise, it would just be norm. So trauma itself is neuroplastic. Excuse me for not saying that right, but it is promoting neuroplasticity because you are experiencing a high limbic juice. Right. And your voluntary... This is so fucked up. I'm sorry, but this is what I'm about to say is really fucked up. Forgive me. But if you are volunteering for this kind of event, you are only going to gain so much neuroplasticity. If you feel that your life is on the line, it is impossible for you not to have massive neuroplasticity. I'm telling you this because...
No, it's true.
If you want to know where to find the best neuroplasticity, you are going to find what can I mimic death with the most? What can I do to install a temporary sense of death? Because this would be the highest emotion that I could limbically pull from my voltage easily right now. And one way to do it would be to hire a Jaguar or some sort of predator service that would come and hunt you for your life.
Yep.
Another way would be take mushrooms. If you look at what mushrooms actually do, I don't mean this disparagingly. I don't care what people do. I don't even want to judge it. I don't think you need to I don't need you to do anything. Just be yourself. And I also know in addition to that I'm basically just poisoning my body enough to where I drop all shields and I give up. And that release is a neuroplastic exercise. It's a kind of a really powerful kind of magic. Although when I say really powerful, I think it's a very submissive magic, a very I give up, and this is why people will sort of see it. What I always experienced it as is it's the death of me, and then I rebuild myself back up. It's never been for me now you will be higher. It's more of a, here's an opportunity. I'm going to shoot you in the head. You're welcome. It'll be okay because you're going to now rebuild, and your ability.
Resetting is your reset.
Yeah, your reboot allows you to change your BIOS and install new code, right? And that is a very powerful magic that you could only find if you were to say, "Hey, John, with the hair shirt, can you come and take four of your big men and hold my ass underwater until I almost drown, and then pull me up," because that would give me neuroplasticity too.
Yeah.
So we hired the pedo elite army war service to scare the shit out of us like a jaguar so that we could be in state of death so that we could get that fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually think this is how we survive, because if you look at how the body's working, it's always having to gamble. It's always having to compress resources. It's always the thalamus is always going to reward the ones that were the most courageous. I swear this is true when it comes to the allocation of dopamine. It has this weird gambling rhythm. We've discussed this a lot before, but that gamble shows you exactly what you're describing, Khatum, that having a predator is necessary because it heightens the neuroplasticity of the prey. And the prey,
otherwise you're going to sit there being complacent.
And if the prey doesn't become fatter, if the prey doesn't become more voluptuous, if the prey doesn't become more innocent, if it doesn't become more virgin, more ripe, more all those things, then the predator loses neuroplasticity too. And I'm thinking about the profundity of Renee's noticing it's 14 is half of 28, because in a sense you would need to split yourself in half and say your shirts and your skins. You guys are going to fight each other. And I don't want to fight. Good. You're going to be skins. And you want to fight. Good. You're going to be shirts. Right? So guess what? Shirts are predator, skins are prey. And you guys are going to play now, because playing the game, this is a Mayan tradition too, that rubber ball that's played in the cosmic order, that creates neuroplasticity. Yeah. Isn't that interesting that the rubber ball is like, think about it. That's a bouncing ball. There's the neuroplasticity right there.
Yeah.
So I think all death games, Khatum, I think all death games are sacred, Khatum, because they allow that. And I think sometimes people think that I'm denigrating psilocybin by calling it that, but I mean that exactly the opposite. I think that's literally how it works. Where else are you going to find? You're literally asking someone, "Hey, can you kill me, but not really kill me?"
Yeah, right.
Like, put me in the dirt, but I'm a mushroom.
Yeah, you can't ask a doctor to do that. You can't. That goes directly against the Hippocratic Oath. It's directly against everything that Western medicine's designed to do. That's why we need ayahuasca. That's why we need all this other stuff that we do. It's part of that process of, I need help with death. I need the medicine of death.
Dude, it's literally to try to give people an opportunity to experience death without, okay, are you done now? Are you done wanting to actually physically die? Like, you could cross over and die without having to die, and then you won't want to die anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I was wondering why, like, my shamanic initiation every year, I would be like, why do we have to go through these trials? And it's so hard, climbing mountains and freezing cold and Arctic waters and all these things. I was like, and then of course I did the ayahuasca too, but it was like all of that. Why for that very initiation of, that's why, it's like, that's the neuroplasticity of like, I was like, this isn't the feminine way.
They're tricking you into doing the work.
Yeah, it was just like, it's hard. It was hard. But like, we're kind of like living in this society where things are pretty easy, where we don't think there's a predator. But when you do those hard things, like maybe facing off with ayahuasca is a very hard one, because it is the death vine, and you're facing that, or, climbing mountains or taking risks in that way.
That
exercise.
Sense that it's kind of like testing our depths. You know, it's like if we don't want necessarily these traumas and these trials, but when we live through them, after we've lived through them, we realize, wow, I can survive that. And it's like we do get power from that, don't we not?
Oh, sure.
Yes. Dude, once you go
reminds
through
us we're pleomorphic.
Things,
yeah, we'd have
to a point where you're like, you know that you could survive anything. And even if you, for sure.
Because it really is. It's one of those things when I look back at sort of all the unpleasantness that, you know, I may have or may not have experienced. It's like, it's why I can have appreciation for things that I can feel like we talk about all the time. Compassionating is not consent, but to appreciate the growth that I get from, let's say, maybe what I would feel is discompassion or not finding compassion, the growth that I get from that. It's like, how can I not be appreciative of that aspect of it? Even if it wasn't comfortable, it wasn't what I wanted. It's like I learned by living through it that, oh wow, that didn't break me.
Yeah,
right.
You do start to.
Well, your neurons, if your neurons aren't, if there's not a protective workout, if there's not a protective possession of, man, I hope this neuron fires soon. This neuron for sugar, man, if this neuron for sugar would fire, I'd be really happy. This is an agency that you've assigned that we would call an addiction, but that agency is an allocated form of cellular hallucination that's dedicated to the watching and monitoring of the neurons that fire when you have sugar. And they're watching that because it's honestly the most important thing they've ever found inside your body when it comes to what the thalamus considers gold. In the sense of when this dude has sugar, he fucking flips out. He feels amazing. And the thalamus says, this is the most exciting thing you've ever brought me. And it rewards me more dopamine. And now the agent is stalking the reef to hunt the neurons that cause this to happen. So you end up, you've found a secret vein inside your brain that generates a kind of neurological gold that when you deliver it to the thalamus, you were paid handsomely for it. And so the agency stalks your brain and tries to give you opportunities to repeat the same patterns so that you can find more gold. And I swear to you, this is just what addiction is this. And if you find death medicine, you get to kill all those agents and start over. And all the old hauntings of things that you used to want, that you used to thought you absolutely have to have today, that those groundhogs were not coming out of the hole, right? The whack-a-moles, they're not coming out anymore. And you start to die, you start to fade away because the agent is not being fed. The possession is going to die unless you recall it. You have to learn to recall your cellular agencies. All of your cells in your body are hallucinating a certain kind of memory, a cellular memory of who they think they are, and that you, as God, need to get your shit together. I mean this in a loving way, because you have to talk to all 3 trillion of them and convince them. You have to convince them that you're on your side, because a lot of them are paranoid as fuck. A lot of them are like, yeah, the fuck, James is a pedophile, evil, reptilian lord. They're not going to listen to the Zeus in your head because they don't trust that voice yet. They don't trust Gaia. Gaia's evil. It's a place of awful things. And it's because that's what a jungle looks like. A jungle looks that way when you're a little wide-eyed monkey going, holy fuck, man, this place is insane. It is insane because that's how rich it is. So death is really our friend. Death is the thing that promises no matter what happens to you, I promise you get to come out of this place. I promise there's nothing you can do that's going to stop that. It's an absolute guarantee. you're going to get to be able to come out of this. So no matter how terrified you get. And I think because we knew this, we were willing to turn up the amperage on the jungle as high as we could, because we knew we're going to be okay. So go ahead and turn it up to 11. I can take it at 11 because you promised me mortality. You promised me mortality. So I give you permission to turn the speakers all the way up for this.
There we go. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Turtle Island is turning up to 11. Hey, you guys, we have arrived at our final destination on Valentine's Day. Yes, I know. Shocking. Thanks for joining us. Kadam, it's been great having you on live with us.
Sorry if I talk too much. My pleasure.
It's great, bud. Love it, Kadam.
I love you guys so much.
Let it flow.
Likewise.
Kadam.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We appreciate
Katoom. Katoom lives.
Boom. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Happy
Have a lovely
Valentine's
weekend.
Day.
Bye.
Love you hard. Love you guys.
You said it yourself, this will not work if we are miles apart. Wake up alone, your fans are closed. Reach for something that you're not. Oh, you need to calm down, honey. You need to calm down, honey. You need to calm down, honey. You need to calm down, 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 I know how you feel up in there. You'll get there, I know you would. I know that you don't like your hair, but I think it's beautiful. We just need to calm down.